And it does have real effects on people. I mean, it has effects on our community and things like that, and it's just making a better community for us. Vandalism's another thing. People will get out there and spray, paint all rocks and things like that. Let's respect our community lakes.
Right, I agree. We've seen it's like we've put in some new boat ramps, and especially around bridges, and then people will paint graffiti on the bridges. It's just a shame. And one of my pet peeves is obviously trash, but I think we live in one of the prettiest areas in the country.
Right.
And it's beautiful woodland and streams and mountains, and people need to appreciate what we have and not destroy the environment.
Well, what would you recommend to the fishers out here that for great spots to go fishing? Which spots?
I think we're blessed with a variety of type of water bodies. We have the large reservoirs, we have small reservoirs, we have large warm water rivers, and we have small streams. So really a variety. It just really depends on what you're wanting to catch. I would say for smallmouth bass, which is one of the main species that most anglers like to try for, Laurel Lake's very good. Lake Cumberland's good. Also in our district, Dell Hollow's good for smallmouth. If you like walleye, we have walleye in Laurel Lake. And we just recently sampled the walleye in Laurel Lake, and it looks pretty good, actually better than I was expecting. We caught a lot of fish, and nothing really real big, but a lot of 3 and 4 pound walleyes. So that's looking good for the upcoming year. Also, Lake Cumberland has walleye. For largemouth bass, our best lake, hands down, is Cedar Creek Lake up in Lincoln County. It's a new lake. It's about 10 years old. We actually own the lake, and it was a cooperative project between our department and the highway department. The actual Highway 150, when it was redone, it formed the dam of that lake, and it's about a 770 or 80 acres. It's got a trophy regulation where they have to be 20 inches, and you can only keep one of them. But if you like to fish for largemouth bass, that's the place to go.
Yeah, that's a good question right there. Like sizes of these basses and stuff like that, for tournament times. What is the regulations for that?
Right. Any tournaments have to abide by our regulations, and we have a set of what's called statewide regulations that no matter which water body you're on, you'd have to abide by. But then on certain water bodies, and actually now probably most water bodies, we have specific regulations for that particular lake. So like Laurel Lake has a 18-inch size limit, a 2-fish creel limit on smallmouth, has a 15-inch size limit on largemouth. So, and all these are posted at the ramps. So, and also in our, we publish a fishing guide each year. So any new regulations, we always post signs to inform anglers, and they can also look at it in our fishing guide. So I guess that's another thing I would tell anglers when they go to a lake. If you're not certain, you need to look along the ramps, because we have signs at every ramp, or else look online at our website to get the regulations, so that you're not keeping short fish and getting in trouble.
That's another good question. What about the good old country boy that thinks, well, I don't need no fishing license, and I'll go out here and I'll just have me a good old time? Tell us the penalties, like if you're caught with no fishing license out here fishing.
Right. I don't know the exact monetary cost, but I do know it's cheaper to buy a license than to pay the fine. And when you do buy a license, you actually help us manage that fishery, because we get the license money plus federal money based on our license sales. So you're doing the resource a favor when you're buying the license. Also, one of the funding sources for our agency is anytime you buy hunting and fishing equipment, there's actually a tax on that actually goes, it's called an excise tax, and we get a portion of that money back too as part of our funding. So essentially the hunters and the fishermen support the agency, and then we try to do our best to provide hunting and fishing opportunities for the anglers and hunters.
Now, do you have a segment on the Kentucky Fish and Wildlife program?
Right. As for those of you that watch Kentucky Field with Tim Farmer, each week they do a fishing report, and there's 7 district biologists. I'm one of 7, and so we kind of do that on a rotating basis. So about every other week, I'm on giving the fishing report for the southeastern part of the state. And normally I have several different people I can call that are avid fishermen like myself, and so I usually have pretty good up-to-date information. Plus, if we've done any sampling recently on any of the water bodies, I can kind of talk about that during the show.